Good morning, everyone. I should have uploaded this video today, but I'm running a little late, so bear with me. It'll be up later this afternoon. The card I'm doing today, I've named it. I couldn't find the name of the fold it's called, so I named it myself, and I've called it a pull-out corner fold, corner angled card, and it goes like this. I'm using different DSP and cardstock today for this one, the one I'm doing. I'm also going to put some magnets in under these two corner pieces here to hold this down, because I find it doesn't sit quite flat for you. So I've changed the design a little bit, and I'm going to put some magnets on it. So without any more talking, I shall get started. I'll let you know later about my other little bits that you can have a look at later on. If you want to subscribe to my channel, I'd love to have you on board. Just hit the subscribe button and you'll see my videos. I go live every Monday morning at 9 a.m, which today is going to be later in the afternoon, but that's okay. We'll get some more done for the next couple of weeks. So today I'm going to use the DSP, which is the leaves one. What's it called? Boughs of Holly. It's this pack here. I've used quite a bit of it already. I love the flowers on this, the poinsettia flowers. And I've also used some brass foil. You could use gold or copper, whatever you've got available. But I've done some highlights with the brass. Now the pieces you will need, and I've got them all marked here, and we shouldn't take too long because I've got everything prepped. I've just got to remember when I find where I put my magnets, which I have now lost. Just bear with me for a minute. Not sure where I put them, but I shall get a couple more out. That's okay. I did have them up the top there, but I've put them somewhere else, and they, of course, they'd click to something else and then I'd lose them. So I'll get them out in a minute. The pieces you will need are your base, which I've already scored. It measures 6.5 by 4 inches, and on the long side, if you score at 1/2 inch down one side, turn it around 190 and score at another 1/2 inch on the other side. I find doing it that way you get an even score. If you go 1/2 inch and then across this way, sometimes you can be a little bit out on your scoring. So I do 1/2 inch and turn. So that's the base piece. Then the side pieces, to make it that length, we've added, and I'm not sure if this is the original way it was done, but I prefer it this way. These two pieces measure 4 3/4 by 4, and you need 2 of those. This is in soft succulent, and we're going to join those onto the sides of this base piece eventually. So we'll get to that shortly. Now the front side panels, which are these under here, they measure 4.5 by 3 3/4, and there's 2 of those, but they're going to get cut. And I'll reiterate again when we get to it. You measure in 3/4 of an inch. If you lay them on your piece and mark this end, you've got to make sure you get the right angle cut here. So you're measuring in 3/4 of an inch from this end with the long side at the top, and then you're going to cut from that pencil mark down to this corner, and that will give you that angle because it's in here, the corner here. Once we get these other panels on, they will get scored as well. So they go on there, and then the other one, I do the same thing. I just lay it on there, mark in 3/4 of an inch from this bottom bit here. You probably can't see my pencil marks. And then I'm going to cut from there up to this corner. On the base mats, you will score, but on these you will cut. So that's those two. Then the front panels, which are these two at the front here, I've got mats in the brass foil as well. And there's one of those, so you just cut it on the angle in half. They're squares, 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and then you cut on the diagonal from corner to corner, and that will give you those two mats on the front of that. Then the DSP that goes on the top, which this one here, I used the candy cane DSP. These two measure 3 1/2 by 3 1/2, and there's just one of those, and you're cutting from corner to corner on the square, and they will go on there. If you use a directional paper, just be careful which way your direction runs. This one didn't matter because it was just flowers on it. So that's those two pieces. Then our front and back mats, which is this one in here, I have just stamped with Christmas wishes. The mat, which is the copper or the brass foil again, that measures 5 1/4 by 3 3/4, and then the basic white, which is on top, it measures 5 by 3 1/2, and I've got the plain one at the back. I did put a strip of DSP on this one, but I've left it plain. I might pick out a piece of DSP later and put on the back of that before I add the photo to my PDF. The PDF will be uploaded onto my tips and tutorials page later today, so you can get all the measurements and instructions on there. And then the little decoration that I've done for the front, I've already put it all together. It's cut with this frame out of the Leaves of Holly set, which is this frame here, and I cut it out of the soft succulent. And then there's an inlay piece, which is this piece here. It goes at the back, and I've cut it out of the brass foil again, and it lays in behind the leaves like that. So I've just glued that in the back. Then I've cut out a few of the little spiny leaves that are in this die set again. Those two there, I've cut a few of those, and I've just tucked them in behind that. The other frame, which is, we'll keep opening this, that frame is also the one that's in that same set, Leaves of Holly. So I've cut one of those. I've just added Christmas cheer onto that, and these are the festive pearls, they're called, the little red ones on there. I've just added those, and that will sit on the front. You only glue that to one side so your card can still open and shut, but we'll get to that shortly. So we'll just put all that aside, and we shall get started. Before I start, I'll just go and get a couple of more magnets out, so we're not... They seem to want to stick to everything. I'll find the other ones later. They've probably attached themselves to something. These are my little magnets. They measure, I think they're about 5 mil in width and 1 mil thickness. 5 mil in diameter. So we need 2 of those. Actually 4, because we need 2 there and 2 there. So we'll get another 2 out. Whoops, they're all sticking together. That's all right. And these all stick together. Just put that aside for now. Right, here we go. Now, first of all, we shall attach these to this. And then I'm going to mark this to score it. Actually, I might mark it first because then it's easier to get in the thing. So we're going to go in 3/4 of an inch here. This is on your trimmer. And I'm just going to put a little pencil mark there at the 3/4 inch mark on this side. So I'm going by this one. That was the scorer blade, which I'll have to get because I need it. And then I'm going to score from that pencil mark down to this corner, which my scoring blade just came out of my trimmer. Everything seems to go wrong when you're doing a video. Just pop that back in there. So I'll score from that pencil mark across to this corner here. on the angle, because this piece is still going to sit on the base. And then on this side we're going to do the same but down the bottom, so it'll go here. So we need that in. I'm going to go from this side this time, so it's 3/4 of an inch there. I can take this off, and I'm going to score from there up to the top corner. When you cut all, if you cut all your pieces first, you can see which way your score lines go. We did have the friend of mine that I did this with. Now I've lost that scoring blade again. Where did it go? It keeps falling out of this one. Pop it back in. Yeah, we had a sample one to go by to get all the measurements, so we went from that. But, if you do a template first, I did a template for this. Now if you fold this backwards and forwards a couple of times so it's nice and burnished, which I didn't get out my bone folder. Thought I had it out before. Seem to be losing everything today. Get another one out. I think I've left the other one outside. I'm partway through a couple of classes and I lent it to a lady yesterday. I've left it outside. So that's that one, and that's this side. So just make sure you glue, when you glue them to your base piece, you're gluing them on the correct side. So this one will go over this side, and this one will go over this side at the top. So that's on that side. So you're in 3/4 is at the top of one and at the bottom of the other, if that makes sense. And then we're going to glue this onto there so that your tab is down the back. And I'm going to use tear and tape so it's nice and secure. Just one strip down is sufficient. I'll take the back off that. I know I had my picture this morning. We'll attach that to that, nice and straight. So if you get it just inside that score line, so it's nice and even top and bottom. So it still folds nicely. That line at the back there where it's joined is going to get covered with your mat at the back, and that one will go that way, which is that way. It will fold, and then this one will come in on this side. We shall put some tear and tape on the back. No, sorry, on the front, so that the join is at the back. We'll just put a strip down there. And we'll nicely line this up with the score line, which I can't even see. Turn it around this way where there's a bit of light. And that will go just inside the score line and even top and bottom. And that's the base of our card, which will come in like so. That's nice and firm across the centre there. So we can put our back panel on because we know that's finished. This one over here. That one will come in on the back here. There's no more to put on the back. And the magnets are going to come in on the front. So I can put that piece on. And I'm just going to use my snail. I've been using snail mostly lately. I seem to prefer it to the glue. The glue gets a little bit messy. And this one is just as quick. You can decorate this piece. I might put a nice strip of DSP on it later that centres inside those original score lines, like so. Now we'll flip this over and we'll just make sure where we're going to put the magnet. So before I put this front section on, which I can glue them together wherever I put them over here, got stuff on all sides. So I've got 2 of those and 2 of those. And get rid of the tabs. So we can put the DSP on the mats, but before I put them onto the card, I'm going to put a magnet under here and another one under here, so that will hold that down. But I'm only going to put the magnet underneath the whole layer, not just the DSP. So that one can go on there, and I shall use some snail, and I might get my silicone mat out. And it's just run out, so we shall use Tombow. So I haven't got time to get another one out. Didn't realise it was that close to the end. Shows how much I go through it. I won't use too much glue because it will stick to this easily enough once it gets time to set. So that one will just go nicely on there. I do like the borders in the gold and the copper and those shiny ones. It just sets it off a little bit better. And the same with this one. This video will be uploaded this afternoon. Not sure what time, but my apologies for not having it ready this morning. Or when you see it, it'll be there. Then I shall start and record another one for next week, so it's ready to go. Right, now that one's going to go there, and this one's going to come in here, and I'm going to put the magnets in here and up here underneath those, wherever I put them again. I did have them there. Don't tell me I've lost them again. They seem to stick to everything. Oh, there they are, to the ends of my scissors. We'll get them on the card before I lose them again. Slippery little things. Just put them well apart and you're fine. Now there is a negative and a positive to magnets, so you've got to make sure. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put a glue dot on one side, and I'm also going to secure them with a bit of tear and tape. This is the normal way I do magnets. So I'm going to put that one there. Just double check and make sure it's far enough in. You don't want it right on the corner, otherwise it'll you won't be able to get your fingers around there, and that will sit over the top of that, which we shall take one off. I think I've got it up the right way. We'll soon find out. It's no good trying to lift it with something metal. Yes, so that will stick under there then, and then there'll be another one down the bottom here. Or that one will go down the bottom here to hold that side. So we can stick that, put some tear and tape over the top of that, just to hold it in place. It's not going to move. Secure it nicely in there. A little piece on the other side. You won't see this, so don't go too close to the edge because it'll be outside the mat that you're about to put down on top of it. Just take the backs off those. Then we shall put some Tombow, glue everywhere, Tombow on this one, I would have preferred my snail, but by the time I get it out, we'll have it done. Where it's going in the corner, I'm just going to put a bit of extra glue so it doesn't lift. After we did the sample one, we thought, yep, it needed magnets or a belly band. You could put a belly band around it, but I think it's a little bit bulky for a belly band. That could have gone in a little bit further in, but it's not too bad. It's going to hold. If you put that tear and tape, you could even put the tear and tape all around that corner so it holds it down. So that's that one. Then another glue dot on the corner of the underneath one and some more tear and tape. Whoops, make sure it stays there. It should hold to the other one so you know exactly where it's going to sit. Just cut some of this off. It's easier to work with. And go across there. Could have been a bit longer. And I might put some tear and tape in that corner to hold it. This piece under here will come in after, but we'll have all that ready there. So the back side of this is these two here, and I'll do this side with you now. So I'm going to cut these on the diagonal, and also you've measured in 3/4, and it's going to, as I mentioned before, it's going to cut across to the 3/4, from the 3/4 inch pencil mark down to the corner. Getting in a bit of a mess here. So I've marked it there, and it'll come down here, and we're going to cut. And that way it fits in that same spot on the back. That will go there, and that will come in here. Just like that. And you could put a mat under this, but I thought it was getting a little bit thick. So I've just got the DSP. This one will go over the top of the magnet after we take off the backings. Make sure it's secure down. And that will sit over there. That sits a little bit better on the back there because it's only the DSP. I might put the next magnet on the other side in a little bit further. But that goes right in there. I only wanted a subtle pattern in the back because you don't see it very often. It'll go in there, and this one will go on the bottom section. Don't tell me my glue is nearly empty as well. Just need to shake. There's plenty in there, but it just seems to want to sit down the bottom. And that one sits in there. Before you cut or score anything, just make sure you've got the right angle for these pieces so that it sits correctly. I'll just rub out that pencil mark that's up the top. And that's the inside. You could decorate in there as well, but I don't think it needed it. Now, why isn't that? What have I done? I've put the magnet in the wrong spot. Aren't I stupid? I'm going to lift that last piece. How silly is that? I'm going to try and lift this, which is probably going to be difficult. And take that magnet out. I don't know why I did that. We can push that back down without too much problem. The joys of live or recording videos. I don't want to start it all again, so we'll fix it. Now, it's got to come in down here, not up there. Just try and get the, actually I'll get one of the other magnets. I'll put that one aside and clean it up later. I've got sticky stuff all over my fingers. Don't ask me why I thought it went up there. What not to do. So we'll leave that one up there and I'll get another 2 out. So this needs to come down here. So you need to put that DSP on first. It's got to come in down here, like so. So it goes on top of this DSP, and we shall put a glue dot on this side. That was easily fixed. I'm glad I didn't push that down too hard before it stuck. That'll go on there. And then that will come down there, and then it will hold shut. So then we can put some more glue on this piece. That was the problem. There's a little piece stuck in there. At least we know now we'll do it right over the other side. So this one will now come on top. I must tell my friend when she does it to watch my video so she can do it the right way. I didn't put any tear and tape over that one, but hopefully it'll stay in there with all the glue that's on it. Now it will close. How about that? When you do it the correct way. So we shall get out 2 more magnets, which I put them just here. Got sticky stuff on my fingers. I'll get 2 more because I want to make sure they're the 2 that are going to, I think all of them stick together, but just to be on the safe side, and I'll clean that other one up later. Now we'll go again. So we need under here with 1. Take 1 off. I do love magnets, but they're quite fiddly when you, if I use this, then they seem to stick to that thing. Got it. See, it's sticking to that one over there too. At least I know it's in the right spot. And then that one will come in. I'll stick that one in there first with a glue dot. I'll stick it underneath there. Go on a bit further in with this one. And that will come in on top of that. Then this, where that sticks, we'll put that DSP on first, which is this piece, which we still have to cut. Seem to be going backwards and forwards. I've already marked it where to cut. So we're going from that 3/4 inch pencil mark there down to the corner on an angle. And that should be right for that one. So this one will come in down this way, and then we'll put the magnet underneath that one, further in, not underneath that one. I'm going to put a glue dot on that other side. Already got the one in there. I'll get these magnets in first so we know it's correct. So if we open that up, I can stick that down in a sec. That will stick down there. And then that goes over the top of that. And this piece comes in. This one goes that side and this one comes in this side. Oh, that's different to what I did before, isn't it? But that'll work. I've done them different. This one I've put on the top and this one I've got underneath. But that will work. That's probably a better way to do it because then your magnets are at the back and that's still going to open there. Once we get that panel across there, that works better. Rather than putting it under your front piece, put it under your two back pieces. So don't do as I do, do as I say. Or don't do as I say, do as I do. Instead of putting your magnet under this front piece, put it under the two back pieces and that will work. And that way you're not coming in under this bulky cardstock and DSP at once. So we can put that. That was a mistake gone well. Now I can stick these on. So you can put your front panels on and put your magnets under your back pieces. See, it's the first time I've done this one with the magnets on. We didn't do them on the last one, so now we know. Whoops. A bit clumsy today. I can hear the birds outside. So that's that one. And these will come in under here. Much easier to do it that way. And they're in far enough that, and I will put some tear and tape on them while I remember, just to secure them. Just put one piece across the center. So put your magnets at the back, in under the inside sections. And let me know how you go, if it works. I'd love to hear some comments back. This one will come when we put some glue on it. Give you sticky fingers. So that one will sit on there. You could put mats around this, but I think it'll be too thick. Oops. Try and get it fairly straight. And this one will come in at the bottom. Go later and look for all my magnets that, well, I've got glue on one I need to clean up. And the other two that I got out originally, they're somewhere in there. I'll find them. I know where I put them when I started, but who knows where they are now. They're probably attached to some scissors or something. And that one comes in here. That sits a lot better. Did I take the backing off that tape? Yes, I did. Doubting myself. So that's those magnets, and look how nicely that shuts. And this will come across here to hold the center closed. So we've got that. It was on this one that we worked it out. If you hold these down, it will sit a lot nicely. So this will just come in on here, and I'm going to sit it flat. I don't want it up on dimensionals. I put my greeting up on dimensionals. Now You've got to watch, you only want it on one part of this, on this side. Doesn't matter which side, but I preferred it on this side. So I'm just going to eyeball and mark, put a heap of glue over this side. All of that can get stuck down, and it goes across on an angle like that. And that should be okay. Just like that. Just have a peek. Oh, we got a little bit too much. Just take a bit of that off. You could lay it on there and then flip it up and put a pencil mark where the glue shouldn't go or should go. That would be better than eyeballing it. It's on more of an angle than I thought, but we'll run over that with our embossing buddy, and that takes all the stick off that so it doesn't stick to. This is a good trick if you've ever got glue where you don't want it and you can't get it off. Just tap a bit of your buddy over it and it takes all that stick off it. And that's that. It's still not sitting up really, it's still not sitting really flat. Just about need a magnet under the greeting. But I think that'll sit down once it it's a lot better than having the corners popping up. Once it's I often stick some blocks on top of a card to get it to hold. But that's not too bad. I've got a bit of glue there that I'm going to rub off later. But that's my card. It's sitting a lot fat, as you can see. This one pops right up. And that one's a lot better. Once you've scored, these score lines across here, if you fold them backwards and forwards a few times and break up the fibres in the cardstock, they will sit better. But that's my card. I could put some little decorations down here, something in red to break up all the green, but I don't mind that. Oh, we haven't put that bit in yet. That's this one. It goes in here. Thought I was finished. Bit all over the place today. And we're just about out of glue, I think. So we'll have to get another one. And if anyone's watching, well, in Australia, I know it's free shipping for all day tomorrow. So if you're wanting to do an order, it's a good chance to get in and do some free shipping. I've got a little order there to put in, so I may as well take advantage of it while it's free. You save quite a bit on your orders with the shipping. It's not sitting as flat as I'd like, but it will work its way down eventually. And that is my card. I hope you enjoyed that. Sorry with all the muck arounds, but we got there eventually without too much going too wrong. And I've got just a couple of mentions with my Facebook page, Cards by Laura. If anyone wants to look at any of the cards that I do, they're all in here. I'm starting to upload a few Christmas cards now. I've got a couple of markets coming up, and I've been madly working on Christmas cards. I've had a couple of orders. So Cards by Laura, if you go in and have a look there, it's you're welcome to join. And also where my tutorials go for my videos and all my instructions and photos of my cards, they're in Laura's Craft Room Tips and Tutorials. You can join that group anytime as well. If you just put in the request to join, and I can approve it from there. Got quite a few members in there now. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Would love that for you to subscribe. I'm up to about 87 subscribers. I was aiming for 50 and I got past that, and now I'm aiming for the 100, hopefully by Christmas. So if you haven't watched before and if you like what I do, please subscribe, and I will catch you all again next week. You'll see this video, the salve, so Have a lovely day, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye for now.